back-to-school shoppers still have a few days to save as Ohio's tax-free weekend continues until August 14th. But recent surveys found most parents are expecting to pay more in back-to-school costs this year. Fears of tariffs and rising prices caused a record spike in school-related purchases in July. And some families even plan to incur debt to cover school supplies. So here with more on what we're seeing, YSU Instructor of Economics, Sarah Jenick. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Of course. So starting off, in the past, shopping for back-to-school items, Black Friday and other holidays was kind of a fun way to find some deals. But in your opinion, do you think these shopping events become something where we need to plan ahead or do our research? And do our research?
Yeah. So what we're seeing this year is that people are starting to shop for back to school a lot earlier. And surveys that are done of those parents say that it's because they are afraid that there's going to be limited supplies of goods, that there's going to be higher prices due to the tariffs. So they're really trying to get this shopping done early and try to watch out for those deals early to try to beat these price increases that they fear are coming.
Yeah, so what sort of back-to-school essentials are we seeing could be impacted by rising prices or tariffs around this time?
Yeah, so a report of the Consumer Price Index shows that in particular, backpacks are showing a higher price this year. Over the past about 5 years, we've seen about a 30% increase in the cost of backpacks. So that's kind of the big item that we're seeing a higher price on. The tariffs haven't really passed through yet, but just the fear that they will is driving consumers out to shop early.
Yeah, and there's still 5 days left of the tax-free weekend in Ohio. That's exciting.
Yes.
Do you suggest parents take care of the shopping list now? And what kind of money can they save during this time if they want to go now?
Yeah, it's definitely an incentive for parents to go out and shop now. And it used to be limited to specifically back-to-school items, but now they've really broadened the categories to just about everything except alcohol and some big purchases like an automobile. But up to about that $500 cap, it's a great time for people to save a little extra money on any purchases, household items, along with those back-to-school supplies and clothing as well.
Yes, and we need the clothing, the new shoes for the school year, so definitely something parents want to take advantage of.
Yes.
Now, the tariff situation has become kind of hard to follow these days, but a new round was just implemented. So have businesses and consumers started to see an impact from this trade war at this point, do you think?
Yeah, it has been difficult, and that uncertainty has led to a lot of volatility in the markets and consumer behaviors and business behaviors as well. So we saw in the first half of the year, early on in the year, people were kind of stocking up on imports before those took effect. And then in the second quarter, we saw a pullback in imports as people were worried about those higher prices. So the impact that we're starting to see in the data, going forward for the second half of the year, the concern is that consumers kind of stockpiled in the first half of the year to beat those tariffs, kind of like what they're doing now with their back-to-school shopping. And the concern is that for the second half of the year, consumers are going to kind of hit the brakes on their spending as they are, again, concerned about higher prices.
And then switching gears just a little bit, we recently saw the disappointing jobs report come out, and that resulted in President Trump firing the commissioner in charge of that. Do you see any warning signs from that or other economic data that could have us thinking about another recession?
Yeah, so the labor report was a bit dismal. So employers were really just kind of replacing people that they had lost. They weren't hiring new. They're not adding to their headcount. And that's just like a sign of weakness. It's not that the job report showed we are seeing major increases in unemployment yet. It was just kind of a hint that there could be some weakening in the labor market. Also in that GDP report from the first half of the year, we did start to see in the second quarter a slowdown in private consumption spending, kind of excluding the volatility of trade. And so that was another little sign of weakness as well. But over the past several years, the economy and consumers have been very resilient. So whether it would lead to a recession, we still have yet to see.
Right, a lot of things to keep an eye on, definitely.
Sure.
But we do know parents should get out there, take advantage of the tax-free weekend.
Yes, definitely.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.